hear him say that he's a music channel. I hear him say that he's a music channel. Here en Sierra hizo mucho chévere.
And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers Baseball on YouTube Live. It is the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and the hometown Idaho Falls Chukars. Well, last night a tough one for the High Wheelers, who came back. They were down 7-1 going to the 8th inning. Ended up scoring 3 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th, and able to force the knockout round. But the knockout round this year has not been too kind to the High Wheelers, who are now 0-3 in that home run hitting contest to decide a game. So the High Wheelers, the regular portion of the game ended up 7-7, but they lost the knockout round by a count of 2-1. The Idaho Falls first baseman in Brandon Barrera ended up out-homering Bobby Leday. 2 homers to 1. Brett Barrera, I should say, out-homered Bobby Leday. 2 homers to 1. So Idaho Falls ends up with the win last night. So Yolo has dropped 3 straight games, comes in at 14-14, 8.5 games back of first place Missoula. But again, the key here is not so much trying to win the division, it's trying to win the try to at least get to the second spot, which would be good enough to clinch a playoff bid. So because of that, Yolo coming into tonight's action, really 4.5 back of a playoff spot. Remember, Yolo still has 3 games to make up in this half. So Yolo is 14-14. Meanwhile, Idaho Falls comes in at 12-19. They won 3 in a row, though, but still 12 back of first and 8 back of a playoff spot. Let's go right to the starting lineups first for the visiting Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton. And again, Yolo at 14-14. We'll see Braylon Skinner leading off and playing center field. Batting second and at shortstop, Braylon Marine. Bobby Leday hits third, and he's at second base. Hitting cleanup is the designated hitter, Jose Gonzalez. Alejandro Figueiredo hits fifth. He's at first base. Batting sixth, playing left field, is Justin Kirby. The right fielder, Tanner Smith, gets his first appearance of the series, and he bats seventh. Hitting eighth and playing at third base is Kirkland Banks, and Mason Minzy rounds out the lineup, and he bats ninth with the left-hander Dawson Lane on the mound. So again, for the Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton, it's Skinner, Marine, and Leday, Gonzalez, Figueiredo, Kirby, Smith, Banks, Minzy, and the lefty Lane on the mound. Before we give you the lineups for Idaho Falls, let's send it down to the field for the playing of the national anthem. All right, the national anthem here tonight from Idaho Falls, Idaho. Doug Greenwald with you. We'll take a look at the lineup quickly for Idaho Falls under manager Troy Percival. Again, Idaho Falls comes in with a record of 12 wins and 19 losses. Kevin Johnson leads it off and plays right field. Batting second and playing in center field tonight is Tyler Wyatt. Batting in the third spot, the designated hitter, Trevor Rogers. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, Brett Barrera. Roberto Gonzalez hits fifth. He's at third base. Batting sixth and playing in left field tonight is Zaid Walker. Batting seventh, and at second base, Noah Gent. The catcher batting eighth, Craig Corliss, and hitting ninth, and at shortstop this evening is Theo Hardy. On the mound is the left-hander in Tyler Nauman, who is out of the windup, and tonight's first pitch is taken outside, ball one to Braylon Skinner. 1 ball and no strikes the count, and we are underway right on time tonight at 7:05 Mountain Time. As Skinner a swing and a foul ball left side. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to the game's first batter in Braylon Skinner. Nauman, who went to school at Jacksonville University, delivers, and Skinner is swinging a pop-up foul left side. And the count is now at 1 ball and 2 strikes to the game's first batter again. And Braylon Skinner, who last night was 0 for 3, walked twice, 8-game hitting streak came to an end. But Skinner still has a different kind of streak. He has reached base safely in his last 14 games. The kick of the 1-2, and Braylon takes high ball 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Skinner. Again, the High Wheelers have dropped 3 straight. There's the pitch on the way, and that is swung on and hit to the right side. And that is going to get through for a base hit. And now hustling towards second is Skinner, and he's going to hustle in there and dive in safely with a double. Well, that ball just sort of deadened out in shallow right center. I mean, the ball just kind of, as I said, just sat there, and Skinner, who had the whole play in front of him, hustled and just kept right on going to second base. And a hustle double toward right center for Braylon Skinner. Almost looked like a bad golf shot right there. The ball just dead in the rough, and Skinner hustles into second with a leadoff double. So a good start for the High Wheelers, and now it's Braylon Marine, who has a 15-game hitting streak. He digs in, and he takes low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes to Braylon Skinner. Well, Skinner a chance here, obviously, would just like to drive in the run himself, but if not, a chance maybe for a productive out, maybe get a ground ball to the right side as he swings and grounds one into the right side, and that's going to get through into right field, a base hit. Skinner is on his way home, and he will score the game's first run. So Braylon Marine, well, last night he extended his hitting streak to 15 games with a 9th-inning single, which started that 3-run rally. Tonight he extends the hitting streak to 16 games, so Marine not only extends the hitting streak, but he has a first-inning RBI. The High Wheelers have a first-inning run. So Marine, coming in at 377 with 3 homers, now has 24 RBIs. So Marine, the runner at first, 9 steals this year. He has been caught once, so just like that, a run home. Just 2 batters into the game for the Yolo High Wheelers. And now it's Bobby Leday, who stamped a 1-for-19 drought last night with a single and then a 9th-inning homer. And he looks at a strike on the inside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike to Bobby Leday, who swings here. And Leday hits this one towards short. Stepping on the bag at second is Hardy for 1, and on to the first baseman Barrera for 2. That is a double play. So just like that, 2 out and nobody on. 6-3 on the double play. A run home for Yolo, top half of the first inning. By the way, Leday coming into this evening's game, 369 with 7 homers and 29 runs batted in. Now it's Jose Gonzalez, and he takes outside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. As Gonzalez, who's hit well lately, takes, and that's outside for a ball. And the counts now, or actually that was called a ball. So 2 balls, no strikes, and the pitch that's outside. What is the count here? All right, now the scoreboard has 3-0, so let's go with that. So 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Jose Gonzalez, and the pitch, and that's low outside, ball 4. So Gonzalez draws a walk. You know what? They have changed the scoring of that double play. I had said the ball that Leday hit was fielded by the shortstop Hardy, which is a true statement. However, the official score has indicated that the pitcher Nauman actually tipped the baseball, got a piece of it, so it'll go as a 1-6-3 double play, not a 6-3 double play. So give the pitcher Nauman an assist there. So 1-6-3 on the twin killing. Now it's Figueiredo who comes up. 3 hits last night, his first 3 at game in a Yolo uniform, as Nauman delivers low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. I mentioned Gonzalez, who has hit well. I know he just walked. Jose, team's leading hitter at 386 with 7 homers and 28 RBIs. The 7 homers, he and Leday share that for the team high. As Figueiredo takes inside, ball 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and no strikes to Figueiredo. Figueiredo's average as a high wheeler, he's been in 6 games now, 350 with 1 homer, and he's got 3 runs batted in. A run home for Yolo here in the top half of the first inning. Facing the left-hander from the Jacksonville, Florida area, Tyler Nauman, 6'2", 195 pounds. 26 years old for Nauman, who was a first-year pro. Lefty comes set, third base side of the rubber. Kicks and delivers, and Figueiredo takes, and that is low for a ball. So now 3 balls and no strikes, with Justin Kirby wetting on deck. And the kick and the pitch, and that is low and in, ball 4. So Figueiredo down to first base. So 4 of the first 5 high wheelers have reached here in the first. However, the double play ball hit into by Leday, the 1-6-3 double play, obviously could be a big factor. 1 run home for the high wheelers, and now Justin Kirby will dig in. Bats at 306, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. Kirby last night waited until pretty much the end of the 9th inning, the top of the 9th, to come through, and did with an RBI single, which tied the game. As the pitch adjusted, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. That's right, Kirby's RBI single in the 9th last night tied the game at 7. Only to have the High Wheelers lose in the knockout round as Nauman deals, and that's low for a ball. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 1 strike to Kirby, whose 10-game streak of scoring a run, at least 1 run, ended. He did not score a run last night. He had 12 runs scored over that 10-game streak. The kick and the pitch, and Kirby takes, and that is low, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 1 strike to count to Kirby, with Tanner Smith wetting on deck here on the sunny night for baseball here in Idaho Falls. Runners lead at first and second. And Nauman's pitch, and Kirby swings and chops this one to shortstop. Charging is Hardy, and he will throw to Barrera at first. And Kirby is out. A run for the High Wheelers, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 in left. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. It is Yolo 1 in Idaho Falls coming up on YouTube Live. On the mound tonight for the Yolo High Wheelers is the left-hander out of Lakeland, Florida, Dawson Lane. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It is 1-0 Yolo. Kevin Johnson leads it off, and he takes the first pitch low from Lane. Ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strike. So it's Johnson, White, and Rogers to face the Lakeland, Florida product and Dawson Lane, who kicks and delivers, and that's up and away for a ball to Kevin Johnson. And the count is at 2 balls and no strikes. Johnson, 367 in 24 Chukars games. He has no homers, and he has 13 RBIs as the 2-0 pitch, and that swung on and driven toward right center field, and that ball is going to be caught by the center fielder Skinner. He had a long way to go to his left, and nice catch there by the speedy center fielder Braylon Skinner out in the direction of right center. So 1 up and 1 down, 1-0 Yolo. Home half of the first, and now the center fielder and Tyler Wyatt will dig in. Wyatt at 348, no homers, and he has 8 runs batted in. And the pitch on the way, and that's outside, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. And Lane right back. This is outside, ball 2. So now 2 balls and no strikes, the count. To Wyatt, 1-0 Yolo. Lane deals, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike from Dawson Lane, third-year pro, was in the Frontier League last year with the New York Boulders, team that plays outside of New York City. That's the pitch here, up and away, ball 3. And the count's now at 3 balls and 1 strike to Wyatt with a 1-0 Yolo advantage, bottom of the first. Lane's 25 years old, 6'5", 210 pounds. Deals in the 3-1 pitch, blown away, ball 4. So Wyatt draws a walk. He'll head down to first base, and now Trevor Rogers will come to the plate. So Wyatt this year, 5 steals. He's been caught once. Chukars are 26 for 36 in steal attempts this year. So now it's Rogers who bats. Rogers took part in that 3-run Idaho Falls first inning last night with a sacrifice fly. And the pitch to Rogers is a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike to Tyler Rogers. Comes up at 340, 7 home runs, 26 runs batted in. 1 on, 1 out, 1-0 High Wheelers. And Lane deals from the set, and that is up and in for a ball. So the count now goes to 1 ball and 1 strike from Dawson Lane, who started a week ago tonight at home against Oakland. He lost that game 7-3. In that contest, 3 1/3 innings for Lane, allowed 8 hits, 7 runs all earned. 3 walks, no strikeouts. A couple of wild pitches for Lane, who was born and raised, still lives in Lakeland, Florida. That's the pitch here, fastball, a swing and a miss. And that is a strike. And the count moves now to 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trevor Rogers from Dawson Lane. Lane 0-2 this year. Both of his losses have been to the Ballers. 1-0 Yolo. Sidestep offering, and that pitch is popped up back of the plate. The catcher Minzy near the screen, and he won't get to it. And the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-0 Yolo. Bottom of the first inning. Lane mentioned this is his 3rd professional year. First year in the Pioneer League for Lane, who played his last several years at Florida Southern College. In his last, obviously, college years as he deals in a check swing foul ball left side by Rogers. Count to Trevor holds it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, Wyatt, the runner at first base, being held on by Figueredo. It is 1-0 Yolo, bottom of the first inning. And Dawson Lane kicks and delivers, and that swung on and fouled back to the screen. And the count holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rogers from or from Lane to Rogers. Mitch and Rogers, a first inning sac fly last night. Also had a double and then later a 2-run single. So he had 3 RBIs last night to Trevor Rogers. 1-0 Yolo. And the pitch, swing and a pop-up foul left side. And he's hanging in there at 1 ball. And 2 strikes from Dawson Lane, who does have a 9 strikeout performance this year. That was in one of the losses to Oakland back on June 5th at Ramondi Park. Barrera waits on deck. It's Yolo 1 and Idaho Falls 0. Home half of the first inning. And Lane again from the belt. Delivers, and Rogers a swing and a miss. Curve down and in, gets him strike 3. And he is out, so 2 down. A nice pitch there by Dawson Lane, so 2 out. Holding at first base is Wyatt, and now Brett Barrera digs in. Lane, a 4-2 seam fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. So now Barrera, who was the home run hero last night with the knockout round, out homering Yolo's Bobby Leday, 2 homers to 1. Well, Barrera, the guy you'd want up there in a home run hitting contest, 373, a team high 10 homers, and he has a team best 37 runs batted in. So Wyatt at first base. High Wheelers 1, Chukars 0, bottom of the first. And the first pitch to Barrera, and that hits the inner half of the plate, strike 1-0-1 to the former Stanford Cardinal and Brett Barrera. So no balls at 1 strike the count. Lane right back from the set, and Barrera a swing and a foul at the plate. And the count moves down to no balls and 2 strikes. Tonight's home plate umpire is Elliott Sparks. Brian Rose is the umpire at first base, and Cody Cornett, he is the umpire at third. 0-2 the count. Wyatt leads from first. Lane delivers. There goes Wyatt. Pitch taken high, and no throw to second base. Wyatt just cruises in there easily, so Wyatt stole that base note out on Lane right there. Even though Lane's a left-handed pitcher, already has a view at first. Once Lane kicked that right leg in the air, it was an easy steal for Tyler Wyatt. So that's Wyatt's team-high 6 steal in 7 tries. The count to Barrera is at 1-2. And the pitch, waste pitch there, up and away, ball 2. And the count moves now to 2 balls and 2 strikes with Roberto Gonzalez, the third baseman, on deck. Here at Melaleuca Field, built in 2007, capacity 3,659. Yolo 1, Idaho Falls 0. Bottom half of the first inning. You're on a sunny night for baseball. Again, weather here pretty much hot and dry, very arid, sort of like Davis. There goes Wyatt, the pitch to Barrera. Swing and a chopper up the middle toward short, and up with the ball. The shortstop, Marine, to his left. Good job by Marine. The bad news is it's a space hit. The good news is Wyatt only gets as far as third. It'll be an infield single for Barrera, so that saves a run. That ball goes into center field. There's no doubt Wyatt scores on that. He took on the pitch. He's also running on contact anyway with 2 out. But a good job by the shortstop, Raylan Marine, to keep that ball from going into center field. So that's the first hit for Idaho Falls. And now it's Roberto Gonzalez, the third baseman, who comes up. 1-0 Yolo, and Lane in some first inning trouble delivers, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike to Gonzalez, who had a sac fly in the first last night and then later had an RBI single. He was 3 for 4 last night, was Roberto Gonzalez. Runners at first and third, and 2 out. Gonzalez, with those 3 hits last night, it's now 4 straight multi-hit games for Gonzalez. In order, it's been 2, 2, 3, and 3 in terms of the amount of hits, as Gonzalez takes a big swing and a foul to the backstop. And the count moves now to no balls and 2 strikes with Zaid Walker on deck. Already 21 pitches for Dawson Lane in his first stanza. So Wyatt's at third, Barrera's at first. 1-0 Yolo. And now Gonzalez gets his lone timeout in this plate appearance as plate umpire Elliott Sparks grants him time. Wyatt at third, Barrera, the runner at first base. And the 0-2 pitch, up and away, ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Barrera this year, 4 steals. He has not been caught. 1-0 Yolo, home half of the first inning. Still a ton of daylight here in Idaho Falls on this Wednesday night. Turn snap through to first, and back safely with a dive is Barrera. So 2 balls and, let me correct the count here, 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Roberto Gonzalez, who is a first-year pro. He began the year with Great Falls and then came over to Idaho Falls a couple of weeks ago. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count, and the pitch, and that's way up and away for a ball. The count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Zade Walker on deck. The runners at the corners, and the 2-2 pitch again way up. Wyatt's at third. Barrera again ready to go from first base. And the 3-2 pitch, and that is swung on and grounded to second base. Right at Leday, up with the ball, and he will throw to Figueiredo at first. And Gonzalez is out. Leday was shading the bag at second a little bit, and Gonzalez hit it right to him. So Lane gets out of first inning trouble. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men stranded. We go to the second. 1-0 Yolo leads Idaho Falls on YouTube Live. Moving along to the second inning, it is 1-0 Yolo, and Tanner Smith leads it off. And the first pitch from Tyler Nauman. Smith, first pitch swinging, chops one right to the first baseman Barrera, and he will take the ball easily to the bag, puts his left foot on first, and just like that, 1 pitch and 1 out. So Smith, Banks, and Minzy, 7, 8, 9, and Tanner Smith, who did not play at all last night, he is quickly retired. So 1 away. Smith, by the way, coming into tonight at .253 with 2 homers and 12 runs batted in. Now it's the third baseman, Kirkland Banks, who bats. And the windup and the pitch, and Banks takes, and that's at the knees for a strike 0-1. Banks, .293, 3 home runs. And on the season in terms of RBIs, we'll get to it in a moment. As Banks swings here and drives one down the left field side. That's going to be a fair ball. To his right to grab the ball, the left fielder Walker. Banks will hustle to second with a slide, and he stops there with a 1-out, 2-base hit. As the left fielder Walker gets the ball in towards second. So Kirkland Banks has a double. Second double for Yolo tonight. Skinner had one to lead off the game. So Banks, I mentioned, .293, 3 homers, 15 RBIs entering play. And now it's Mason Minzy, gets his first start of the series, 292, no home runs, 5 RBIs. 1-0 Yolo, top of the second. Some shade back of home plate right now, and the pitch to Minzy, a big swing and a foul to the backstop, strike one. No balls and 1 strike. Minzy struck out as a pinch hitter last night. 1-0 Yolo. And Tyler Nauman ready to go from the belt with Banks at second. And now Nauman really wondering the same thing I was, because Banks got some speed, and I'm wondering maybe with 1 out, Banks would try and get to third base via a steal. Banks 5 steals this year. He's not been caught. And Nauman delivers the 0-1, and Minzy a swing and a miss at a fastball, and that's strike one. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike from Tyler Nauman, who went to college at Jacksonville University. Went to a couple of different colleges in Jacksonville, including Florida State Junior College, which is in Jacksonville. The 0-2 pitch very high and away, nowhere close to the plate, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mentioned Nauman stands 6'2", 195 pounds, 26 years old. Banks leads at second. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Look back at second by Nauman. And the pitch, and Minzy swings and misses. Like a slider right there, and Minzy chased it and comes up empty. And that's the first strikeout for Nauman tonight. So 1 out, or 2 out, let me correct it. 2 men out. Banks holds at second. And now for the second time in as many innings, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner. He doubled to lead off the game. And the first pitch to Skinner, strike 1 called on the outside corner. And the count moves now to no balls and 1 strike with Braylon Marine on deck. Nauman again set, looks back at second base. And the lefty's pitch, and that's swatted foul left side. And the count moves now to no balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Skinner. Skinner an 8-game hitting streak snapped last night as the pitch, and that's taken low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Skinner, during those 8 games, hit .371. And mentioned with a double tonight, he's now reached base safely, though, in 15 straight games. So that streak was extended last night regardless, because he did walk a couple of times. And the kick in the pitch here to Skinner, the 1-2, and that's reached for and chopped to shortstop. Big bounce for Hardy, and he'll throw to Barrera at first. And that retires Skinner and the High Wheelers in the second. 1 hit, 1 left, inning and a half in the books. Yolo 1, Idaho Falls 0 on YouTube Live and on Flow Sports.